4 years ago, Leech Lake, Minnesota was like the Dead Sea. The fishing was actually pretty terrible, wasn't it, Mark?
It was bad.
I mean, I can remember. It was like the woe's me of Minnesota. Well, with aggressive stocking and a real aggressive slot limit and concern from the lake owners, this place is unbelievable right now. We're here in the dog days of summer. I'm with my good friend Mark Christianson, who runs Moore's Lodge. Look at this place. The lake is back. The fishing is fantastic. Come with us, and you too can get your next bite.
Leech Lake is Minnesota's third largest lake, spanning over 111,000 acres with depths reaching up to 156 feet in Walker Bay. It has a colorful history that fills over 150 years, from the time its earliest French explorers documented it as 9 large bays featuring 6 large capes, to the construction of the Federal Dam in 1882, which raised the water level from 4 to 7 feet, connecting the then 5 to 7 lakes, which now make up Leech Lake as we know it today.
We're fishing on Leech Lake today in the middle of the summer. And actually, in the springtime, a lot of these fish relate to shoreline drop-offs, and they're around the main lake points, and they're easy to locate. As the water warms and it gets into midsummer, they will move out into the main basin. Leech has a ton of structure. A lot of it is rock piles, sandbars, and actually just with a good map system like a Navionics, just find some of those humps. Whether they're rock piles, sandbars, doesn't really matter. And work the edges of those, especially in the morning. And you'll want to stay probably in that 15 to 20 foot range, because a lot of these humps will come up to 10 or 12 feet. Be careful also though, because as the water warms during the middle of the day, a lot of times those fish that were in 15, 20 feet will slide right up on top of those reefs, especially if you get a bigger wind day or something like that. They'll get right up in 10 or 12 feet, and you better go up there and look for them or you're gonna miss some good fishing. There, I've got a bite.
You got one going?
Yeah, it doesn't feel very big, but he's sure peeling off line. It feels like a small fish. I think it's a walleye, but he doesn't feel very big. I think he's one of those 12 inches though, feels like. Oh, maybe not.
Well, that doesn't look like a little one there.
Doesn't feel all that small now. Not real big, but he's...
The way you hauled off and whacked on him, I thought, well, you probably flung him in the boat and your arm stopped dead. Oh, that's a good fish.
Oh, he's a chunky.
Man, this one's fat.
Yeah, he is.
Wow. Oh, goodness, man.
Here I thought I had a 12-incher, and that's a...
Yeah, I got a bite. It's not, I don't think it's much, though. It's probably perch.
Nice-looking perch.
Oh, I'll tell you what, yeah, when you set the hook, that was the biggest perch I ever saw.
Just didn't feel like much. He sure was running with it. He wanted that crawler. And...
Yeah, walleyes don't fight, right?
Yeah. That's
how many times have you heard that in your life?
That is a beauty.
Look how big and fat he is. Well, I tell you what, this lake is in good shape. For a few years ago, it not doing so well. All the year classes,
it's just amazing.
Bait is just unbelievable. You can't even hardly tell between fish and bait. There's so much stuff.
Tell there's a lot of bait by just the size of these.
Some
things,
of them with monster bellies. So.
Here, buddy.
There he goes. Boom. Mom, I'm coming home. If you're going to come to Leech Lake in the summertime, you're basically looking at a structure bite. And because of that, you're going to need to have an adequate map. These big Minnesota lakes have a lot of structure. And the map, the little chip that we use, when I talk about a map, we actually use a mapping on the GPS. This is a Navionics premium chip. They also make a platinum, which is a little more expensive version. It's got some fancier features. But the premium version itself has got all the detail you're going to need to be able to fish these rock reefs and drop-offs effectively. Basically, you just slide the chip right into the card slot. You can close it up. And you'll see on the map here, it's basically first shows the outline, and then you're going to get into real heavy detail where you can see all the contour lines and the drop-offs. When you use this map in conjunction with your sonar, you know exactly where you are at all times, even though you might be a mile or two offshore. So the map chip, that Navionics Premium chip, is a real important part of being able to fish this lake effectively.
So far, the walleyes aren't adhering to their normal summertime routine by continuing to hang out in slightly shallower water than usual for such hot and calm weather. But that isn't the only thing that is keeping Gary Parsons and Mark Christianson on their toes. Most of the time when fishing for walleye, you'd want to keep your lines tight from the first sign of a bite all the way to the net. But part of the fun with a technique like rigging is that you actually have to let the walleye swim with the bait first, which can keep an angler guessing to the size of the fish actually on the line.
All right, let's see what he is. You got him. Get a lot of line up. It doesn't feel like he's real big. No, I kind of suspected. I mean, he felt fairly heavy when he first bit, but the way he was pulling line out, he's getting a little bigger now. It was just the angle of how the line was, I think.
Backing up towards it a little more. There's nice.
Oh, yeah.
Walleye.
That's a good fish.
This is a nice fish.
I'd have never suspected he was that big at first, the way he bit and the way he was acting. Now that's what you come to Leech Lake for. The last few years there's been quite a few of those, huh?
Yeah, we've got that protected slot, and
There's that pliers right there, man.
they've definitely been getting bigger and bigger, and when you gotta let them go, they just they keep growing, and it's been really good.
Yeah, he wasn't hooked too bad.
Got him out there.
He's
a pretty one, isn't he?
Yeah. What a beautiful fish. Very good. Look at the size of the head on him. You know, some of the others, the bodies were huge, and this one's almost just the opposite.
A little more slender, yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Let's see if we can get him recuperated here enough to
Still got the crawler in his mouth.
get him recuperated so he can go get bigger and give us another battle.
Now the crawler's caught in his teeth. At least he got a meal out of it yet, too. That's good. You know, if you're going to bite and have to take a trip up and go to the Versus Network and become a movie star, you might as well go home with a meal.
It wasn't all for naught. Yeah.
The real deal. Straight talk to make you a better fisherman. Brought to you by Bass Pro Shops.
It's time for the breakdown of equipment and gear to make you a better summertime fisherman, here on Leech Lake in particular, but any place you want to rig. First of all, you have to start off with your basic rod and reel setup. Use your favorite reel, spinning reel, usually in about the 1500 series size. The rod itself is going to be about 7 feet long, and it's going to have a very light tip on the end. You want to be able to feel the sensitivity. Load your reel up. I've got 8-pound test Sensation line, Berkeley Sensation line. It's very strong but very thin, not a lot of stretch. On the business end, we've got a slip sinker here, and we've got our little friendly creek chub. This is one of the setups right here. I'm using a 1/0 hook with the creek chub. We're going to put him back in the water so he can stay alive. And the slip sinker setup is very simple. Essentially, this is a brand new slip sinker from FinTech. It's really kind of a cool setup because what I've got is a detachable weight, and this piece rattles. We've never had that before in a slip sinker. Detachable weights are cool because when I'm traveling and the wind's blowing and it's rough on the lake, the plastic doesn't beat up my expensive rod, okay? When it's time to go fishing, you can put whatever weight that you need for the depth you're fishing, just snap it in, twist it, and away it goes. So it's really a really nice setup. Use a small swivel, and then the leader, I'm using 6-pound fluorocarbon line. Now, your setup for crawler fishing is going to be exactly the same, except for on the end, you're going to use a number 2 or a number 4 hook. The one little tip that I got from Mark, and Mark's actually one of the country's very best rig fishermen. Why don't you show us exactly how you make the crawlers or turn the crawlers into a super fishing machine for catching these summertime walleyes?
All right. You simply do one thing, basically. You get the worm, insert the worm blower basically in the middle of the worm, give them a puff or two, and you can see how much it's swelled up.
Oh, you're blowing them way up then. That's the thing that was new to me, is you're making them like little blimpos.
Yeah, they look like a balloon, and you want them to float. That's the biggest key, because in the summertime we do get a lot of weed growth on the bottom. If the worm floats, it'll keep it out of the weeds, off the bottom. The other thing that it does, a lot of these fish will suspend, especially midsummer, especially during the middle of the day. They'll be 2, 3, 4 feet off the bottom. And if you use a longer leader, say a 6, 7 footer, the worm will float up 2 or 3 or 4 feet, get it right into the fish's eyes, and you just catch a lot more fish.
Sight Bites. Answers to your questions from the Next Bite website. Brought to you by Purina.
You know, if you were truly man's best friend, you'd be doing this for me. On this week's Sight Bite question, a biter says that he's seen us use a lot of artificial minnows on a jig when jigging for walleyes. He's wondering, are there any good worm imitations to use on a jig?
When it comes to artificials, you know, we kind of had a neat experience last summer. For the first time ever, we had to fish a walleye tournament with artificial baits. And it so happened that we were up in Lake Wabigoon in Canada, and by far one of the best things to do up there was pull either spinners or jigs with crawlers. So we started looking around for a really good crawler substitute, and I want to point some of those out to you. First of all, obviously still one of the best crawler substitutes is going to be a gulp bait. It's just their 6-inch night crawler. I get them in either natural or the pumpkin seed. They look like a night crawler. We've been using these for years. Just a very good bait. But we went beyond that to try and find a couple other baits that we might be able to use in this tournament. And I'll tell you one that a lot of people don't use that worked out really well for us is in the saltwater lineup. Now, there's nothing special in the saltwater lineup as far as scents and things. It's just different shapes. And they have a shape in saltwater called a bloodworm. It's a little bit thinner worm, so it gives it a lot more flexibility. We found this one especially good on jigs, where we take half of it and string it up on the jig, and you can see that tail is real flexible and bouncy. So when you start jigging this underwater, it gets a lot of action, and it looks a lot like a real crawler. So this bloodworm is just a little bit thinner, a little bit more limber than a 6-inch night crawler. Another really good alternative that we found is something called a sandworm. Now, a sandworm, and this is in the gulp alive, so it actually comes in the juice here, which also keeps the bait a lot more flexible. But a sandworm, again, is kind of thinner top to bottom, but it also has little ridges and little almost protrusions out the side, and all of that gives it more surface area so that as it's moving through the water catches it and undulates it a lot more. So these sandworms are really, really good. Let me show you on a spinner rig one little trick we do with them. And this is true of any artificial worm that you're going to put on your spinners. You know, most of the time when you're fishing a 2-hook crawler harness, you want to take that second hook and hook it so that if the crawler spreads out, it doesn't kink up the crawler at all. Well, you almost do just the opposite when you're fishing artificial worms on your spinner rigs. What you want to do is hook that second one so that the line between the first hook and the second hook is tight and actually leaves just a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit of a bow in that artificial crawler. This is a sandworm. And what happens is that then when that pulls through the water, it'll give that worm just a little bit of turn. Not a spin, but just a little bit of undulation and turn, give it a little bit more action to make it look real. The nice thing is all these gulp products, I can tell you for sure, walleyes will grab them, they'll hold on to them, they like that scent. But the cool thing is now you don't need to keep real crawlers alive. You've got alternatives. The 6-inch night crawler, the bloodworm, or the sandworm will all catch you a bunch of fish.
The Next Bite website's a great place to get tips on lures and techniques, especially like on our featured section, Total Solutions. Whether you fish for walleyes, muskie, or pike on lakes, rivers, or reservoirs, it's a great place to go and find information to help you get your next bite. Hey, you want your next bite? Yeah.
Besides the earlier emphasis on structure and weather, Another interesting factor for professional anglers Gary Parsons and Mark Christianson in this summer rigging walleye bite on Leech Lake seems to be the difference in the size and frequency of the walleyes they are catching when using crawlers versus creek chubs in their rigging setups.
Listen, here's the plan. You're going to go down there and do a little dance, and you're going to get those walleyes to want you. You got it? Because you haven't been doing too good so far, and you need to get your act together. All right.
While continuing to target the same type of sandbars, humps, and reefs out in the main lake area, Gary Parsons has switched to the less frequently bitten minnow, which finally produces in a big way.
Look at that.
Holy man, is that bugger fat.
Boy, is he's bigger than I thought.
Leech Lake, you got to fish crawlers and minnows. The minnow guy's going to be weeping because he doesn't get as many bites, but when you get one,
They look
it can
like
be a
that.
good one. Look at that fish. There he is. Toad-bodied fish right here. Whew.
He is a toad, isn't he?
Yeah, he really is. Now let's see if we can get him back in quick. There was a bunch of them there. Let's see if we can maybe get one more of them to bite.
The day is winding down, but Gary Parsons and Mark Christianson have drawn a line in the sandbar here on Leech Lake as they continue to rig for summertime walleyes. Both Mark and Gary have abandoned the more frequent side of this pattern that comes with using crawlers and are now rigging with creek chubs on, in hopes of enticing some bigger walleyes to come out and represent the other side of what a healthy Leech Lake fishery now has to offer.
There he is. Oh. Leech Lake lunker right there.
Oh, that's what we're here for. Wow. Oh,
There's the creek chub.
look at that fish, Mark.
That is a dandy. isn't
That is one we've been waiting for.
it? Yeah.
Woo. This is what you come here for. Summertime dog days, everyone else has kind of quit fishing, and we're out here getting fish like this. That's unbelievable.
Sitting out here all by ourselves.
Yeah, all
catching
by
big
ourselves.
walleyes.
All right. Oh, man. This is a horse-mo pig, Mark. And then here he goes.
Been fishing all day for that one.
Yeah, I would say. Let's call it a day.
I wish I'd have caught him instead of you. But good way to end.
When you fish the dangerous species, this is what happens. We're unhooking a fish. You said there was a pot of them. And that one almost pulled my rod over. Good thing you saw that.
The rod was just laying in. I heard it. Catching one on Parsons' rod. This is our.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a
It's a
northern.
big northern.
Nice one. Huh?
Yeah. Oh, man, tell you what.
Action.
The comedy never ends. We both kind of heard it. It's like, who's in the front of the boat? The rod's headed over the side.
You should really check out our featured section, Total Solutions.
Yeah. That was another one of those smart ones. We got to find some more dumb ones, Gary.
The Next Bite would like to thank Moore's Lodge. Moore's Lodge is a fisherman and family-friendly lodge with over 300 feet of sand beach on beautiful Agency Bay. Visit them at www.mooreslodge.com or contact Mark or Barb Christianson at the number below.